The Celtics offense is about to change forever. Robert Williams has been seen in recent videos working on his mid-range jump shot and expanding his game from inside the paint even a bit further out. Since the end of last regular season into the playoffs until they were eliminated at the hands of the Miami Heat in brutal fashion, there was a bit of criticism on Robert Williams' game and him maybe not shooting as much as he should. Some from the media, some even from his teammates, with the likes of Jayson Tatum saying as much. But with these recent videos, I'm going to be explaining to you why Robert Williams is evolving his game and why the Celtics offense is now going to be better than ever. Without further ado, I'm just going to show you this video clip, and I'm going to show it right here on the left side of the screen. Take a look at this. There we go. Robert Williams shooting the mid-range jump shot, working out with Aaron Miller, his trainer. Aaron Miller, sending him in the short pick and roll, these little left-handed jump hooks that we haven't really seen him take. I mean, we've seen him take them from a little closer, but Robert Williams really doesn't dive very much further down than the free throw line on most possessions as we see him take another contested one. And we're going to finish this off with Robert Williams shooting a three-point shot and banging it, a deep three at that. But as I said, Robert Williams doesn't have this in his game right now. He's very much a rim-centric guy, a rim runner, and we've seen that since he came into the league. I mean, he already brings that elite shot-blocking presence, but now with the likes of Kristaps, Porzingis coming into Boston and the need for these slightly lower-paid guys to overperform with the second luxury tax apron coming in with the new CBA, someone like Robert Williams really needs to produce at his paycheck for a team to be competitive. But not only that, he's also competing for his minutes in Boston with these new additions. And in the era of the three-point jump shot, where the mid-range jump shot seems to be very much an afterthought for most players, like the Celtics bringing in a three-point god in Kristaps Porzingis, and Al Horford, even though he had a very down playoffs, is typically a pretty good three-point shooter. These guys don't necessarily shoot too many mids, but just this little change for Robert Williams can open up the Celtics offense. And let me just show you his shot chart from last season. He doesn't shoot outside the paint. Every one of these points is in the paint, basically. Like, you see a couple of shots scattered around from the whole season. Maybe 20 shots, if that, from somewhere outside the paint. Robert Williams shoots almost all of his shots, 76.1% within the restricted area, and the league average is 58.9%. He is 20% above league average in total number of shot attempts at the rim. And while that is great, I mean, you'll see his teammates say he doesn't take bad shots, right? He only takes shots where he really thinks he's going to make these shots. It can be a bit of a detriment sometimes. Because while Robert Williams is one of the best cutters, especially at the center position in the entire NBA, his inability to stretch the floor beyond that has led to a couple stagnant Celtics possessions, and a recent article on The Athletic kind of mentioned how Robert Williams can evolve his game for the better to give the Celtics even that one extra option on offense that could really propel them to the next level. Let's take a look. So how can Williams stand out, they ask? All of those shots from that workout clip that I showed you guys address that key issue for the Celtics center, and that's it. He doesn't score away from the rim, as I showed you in that video. He can pass from anywhere. There's plenty of clips you can go see of Robert Williams being an elite passer, especially when he gets fed the ball down low and needs to make a split-second decision. If he's getting doubled, he can find the open teammate. But it's really tough for him to make these passes if his defender is sagging all the way down to the middle of the paint, as you see in the second paragraph. Having that little 15-foot floater shot can be such a game changer, right? But these slow, risky plays don't feed into how he or the team wants to operate, and I have a perfect example of that right here for you. Within that article, they showed a video, and I'm just going to take a screenshot from that video. It's from a Celtics-Warriors game this past season, and just look at the Warriors' defense. It's exactly what they say. Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown essentially being face guarded. They're kind of being lightly denied on the offside with Curry and Poole. And you see Wiggins about to jump out and deny Jayson Tatum, while Al Horford is getting hard denied on a back cut. And where is Draymond Green, the man tasked with defending Robert Williams? Well, he is in the paint. He's just sitting there. He knows that Rob wants to make this pass because Rob's a good passer. Draymond respects the fact that Rob is a good passer. But Draymond doesn't respect the fact that Rob might or might not have a jump shot. He says, you know what, if you want to take that, just take it. And that's kind of an issue for the Celtics because on possessions like this, you can see there's 16 on the shot clock and the play is still developing. By the time someone like Tatum or Brown gets the ball, you're probably looking at, 13, 12 seconds, and then you need to create a whole new possession from that because this action isn't working with Draymond, an elite defender, just standing near the rim. So Rob Williams, even in that situation, while a mid-range jump shot could be great, there are some other options too, and his trainer Aaron Miller kind of highlights that. He says, with as much attention as Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum get in handoffs and pick and roll actions, I do think there's opportunity for Rob to expand out 2 to 3 feet with short rolls, or maybe when they're getting double teamed, to put it on the ground, find an open teammate in the corner. Now this is interesting, because putting it on the ground is also just straight up not something that Robert Williams has in his game. And if we take a look at a little stat from that Athletic article again, only 13 of his 170 field goal attempts last season had a dribble. He took just a pair of shots off of 2 dribbles last year. Handling the ball is not part of his game unless he's out in space trying to move the ball towards a teammate for a handoff, and that's kind of what we saw in that still shot from a game action last time. He might have a dribble there just to hand off to Tatum or Brown or something, but he's not looking for the shot off of that. But building these one dribble pull-ups on the short roll will help him find a way to consistently get up shots without having an epiphany with his handle. Despite that jump hook will give him, development that jump hook will give him a sense of purpose, and he can get a mouse in the house when he takes a cross match down in the post. So, Robert Williams, even if we go back to this image, imagine he takes one dribble, pull up mid from just about the free throw line, just like we saw in the video. That is a game changer for the Celtics offense, because not even Kristaps Porzingis necessarily takes that kind of shot, right? But it's these actions where Robert Williams is going to have to share the floor with someone like Horford or Porzingis, and even then you saw Horford on the floor, who's supposedly a stretch big, even if he didn't quite show it in the playoffs. I'm still sad about that, but regardless, Rob Williams just having that little option opens everything up. But again, not only will that one dribble mid-range pull-up be there, not only will Draymond have to respect that, if he dribbles, Draymond is forced, or Draymond or whoever's guarding him is forced to step out on him. He is such a good passer that he can see his teammates cutting back door, and now there's more space because Draymond was forced to come out of the paint. So just having that one dribble without having to work on your handle too much, having the threat of pulling up, could be a complete game changer. And the fact that he isn't taking these pull-ups has kind of annoyed some of his teammates at points, including Jayson Tatum, who had this to say just this past season. I mean, well, at least he said this to Aaron Miller, and Aaron Miller, again, Rob Williams' trainer, is relaying this to Chris Forsberg, who he said in a nice interview. It's about a 20-minute interview on YouTube if you want to watch it. I suggest going to do it. It's a great piece of work by Forsberg and Miller. But Jayson Tatum's mad at Rob when he isn't taking shots. I mean, not mad, but he's holding him accountable when he isn't taking shots and when he isn't being a threat or looking at the goal. Because, like I said, it'll open up other opportunities for Tatum and Brown. So we're not just saying this from the Robert Williams and kind of Celtics offense perspective, but this is something his teammates have said, at least this season and last season, and probably since he came into the league. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Rob Williams doesn't take bad shots. He only takes shots he truly believes he's going to make. But you watch him get an offensive rebound, as Forsberg and Miller discuss in that episode. He gets an offensive rebound, and a lot of other NBA players are super excited about that because they're going to get their field goal attempt, but not Rob Williams. Sometimes his teammates don't even necessarily praise him. They kind of say, dude, what are you doing, when he gets the offensive rebound and looks to pass out to Tatum and Brown for maybe an open shot as opposed to just dunking on someone himself, because he's more than capable. But even now, if he gets an offensive rebound a little bit further out from the paint, that little short hook, that little jump shot could really change the Celtics offense, because it's going to make defenses, it's going to force defenses to respect his mid-range shot and his short roll. So at the end of the day, if Robert Williams can actually develop this, if he can come into next season with a mid-range jump shot, something like the next KG light, right? Imagine Rob Williams swatting shots on the defensive end, switchable onto pretty much anyone on the floor, and being able to hit that short corner mid. It is a bit reminiscent of those 2008 Celtics, isn't it? With, KG roaming the paint, able to hit that mid-range jump shot, defensive player of the year level defense. Now, I'm not saying Rob Williams is going to be at that level, because KG was, borderline MVP level that season, but the kind of impact that he can bring can kind of emulate that, and that's something that's desperately needed on the Celtics. While Kristaps can block shots at the rim and hit threes, he's not necessarily mobile or switchable on defense. Al Horford is aging, and while he played amazing defense in the playoffs, his shot is starting to become a little more inconsistent. But someone like Rob Williams, in his limited minutes, probably coming off the bench, if he is able to stay a solid rebounder, an elite shot blocker, and spread the floor to the mid-range with little one-dribble passes or one-dribble pull-ups, the Celtics offense will change for the better, and I truly think that they might just be the #1 championship contender. That'll do it for this episode of Celtics Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get pushed in the YouTube algorithm, and we'd really appreciate your support. I'm Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next one.